The stars are aligned, the sun and the moon are in harmony, flowers bloom, and everything is exactly as it should be when you perfectly match up the right type of Doberman with your lifestyle. Seriously, it'll make training easy. Going out in public will be a breeze. Your outings together are going to be amazing. You'll get compliments about your well-behaved, impressive Doberman, and their behavior will match you so well, it'll make your life just really stress-free. Well, today I'm going to help you answer 5 simple questions so that by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which type of Doberman has the highest likelihood of matching perfectly with your life. So let's jump straight into it, and don't forget to subscribe because you're only getting this level of in-depth breed-specific help here at Doberman Planet. The button, it's right below. So this method of choosing the perfect type of Doberman was actually developed by us right here at Doberman Planet. And it's really based on, among other things, the many in-depth behavior surveys and breed studies that we've conducted. And it's a fairly simple but very effective method of choosing the best Doberman match for you. And as we go, I'll be following this method myself, and you'll see exactly how I use this whole decision flow to really decide what type of Doberman would be perfect match for me also. This is my decision card right here. It'll be popping up on your screen, and we're going to fill this in as we go to see what my perfect match is. And by the way, you can download this card for free in the description below this video in case you want to fill it out along with me as we go. A real quick disclaimer here, guys. Just like with people, each dog is an individual. It's got its own instincts, behaviors, and genetic influences that can be unique to them. So not every trait described will be true for every single Doberman since, of course, yes, they are all individuals. Okay, the first decision to make is if you're better matched with an American or a European Doberman. Now, there are a lot of differences between the two varieties, but here are the primary differences simplified for you. Now, physically, there are some differences. The American Doberman tends to have a sleeker, more toned, smoother looking body with a narrow muzzle and a bit more rounded head. Whereas a European Doberman tends to be a bit bulkier and just bigger boned looking with more overall muscle mass, but generally not as toned. They usually have a blockier appearing muzzle and head, and Europeans are also generally a touch heavier and a bit taller than the Americans. But hopefully you aren't choosing your Doberman based solely on appearance, of course, so the real consideration to see if they're a match for you is their behavior. In general, the American Doberman tends to be calmer, more in tune with their owner's emotions, and they generally respond best to more positive reinforcement-based training approaches. These dogs make excellent family dogs and are great for those without a lot of dog experience or who are a bit less active in general. Now, the European Doberman, they tend to be a bit more confident, headstrong, they got plenty of drive, and they tend to require more exercise throughout the day to keep them happy. They usually respond well to positive reinforcement training, but also, of course, with a mix too, with a more firm, clear direction as well. They make an excellent working or protection dog. And these dogs, they're really great for a family or an individual who has experience raising working breeds, and for those who are just really active people. For me personally, I'm gonna choose an American Doberman here. I have 3 young boys and we're busy, but we're not always doing super active things like every single minute where we're gonna be able to bring the dog with us. Also, the lower energy, it would be a little bit nice because, well, I mean, it is still a Doberman after all, so it's gonna have plenty of energy, but having just the edge off a little bit, it wouldn't be horrible. Plus, I have toddlers, I don't need a headstrong dog too. So for me and my current situation right now, I think an American Doberman would be best. Okay, the next decision you have to make is another really important one. Are you gonna be looking for a male or a female Doberman? And yes, their behavior and how they develop certainly has some significant differences. Physically, these dogs look very similar, honestly, but you can't expect the female to be a little smaller and sleeker looking on average than the males, who tend to be, a little bit bulkier. And males, as a result, are about 10 pounds heavier on average, but there are also some real behavioral differences between these two as well. In general, male Dobermans are more accepting of strangers, more likely to bond with the whole family versus, bonding noticeably stronger to one specific person. They have a bit higher energy and they're more willing to explore new environments. These dogs make excellent, just general family dogs and are great for those who need a well-rounded, accepting Doberman to engage with many different people in different environments. Female Dobermans, on the other hand, mature a lot quicker than males, meaning they're easier and quicker to train when they're young, which is really nice. They're definitely more suspicious of strangers. They bond tighter to one individual. They're a little more responsive off leash, and they tend to be more in tune with their owner's emotions. Females are great dogs for single owners, but they're still a Doberman, of course, right? So they still do really well in families also, and they're just great for those who want their one sidekick who's always checking in on them, sticks close to their side, and is highly highly focused on them. Females make great protection dogs for this reason too, by the way. Okay, for me, as you know, as much as I love a Doberman who matures quicker and who is way easier to train at a younger age like the female, I think I'm willing to give that up personally in exchange for a dog who has a chance of being a bit more accepting of strangers, who will bond with my kids fairly equally, and who has a higher chance of being more accepting in new environments in general. So I think I'll go for the male Doberman for my selection on this one, but actually this was frankly a pretty hard decision for me. I would love the extra responsiveness off leash that the females have, but oh well, they're all a Doberman, right? They're all very highly trainable. The next decision you need to make is what age Doberman you should get. In other words, should you go the breeder route and get a puppy, or should you maybe look to adopt or rescue an adult Doberman? There are certainly benefits to both, but in terms of getting a puppy, well, you can be selective over things like their specific genetic lines, which is really nice. You can also train them the way you want from the very beginning, ensuring that you work out any issues early on so they don't, develop into bad habits. You'll also be aware of much more of that dog's history since you'll be getting them at such a young age, usually around 8 weeks old. And that also makes it so you start bonding with them right away at a very young age. You just overall have more control over your situation with your new dog when you get a puppy, and you can do things like ensure their socialization is well addressed from the very beginning during that critical socialization window, as an example. Choosing a puppy is great for a family with young kids since, you aren't bringing some big, strong adult Doberman with an unknown history to be around you and your children. And also, those who are just really concerned about dogs' history and very particular about their training might also like to get a puppy. There are definitely some major benefits to getting an adult Doberman too, though. So this will usually typically be a rescue or a Doberman you adopt. And in that case, well, for one, you get to skip that first year of struggles raising that dog, and that's huge. This is where so many owners, especially first-time Doberman owners, fail with their dogs. That teething stage, the teenager stage, all that stuff can be really stressful in that first year, and you'll typically get to skip all of that with an adult dog. Also, they may be partially or even fully trained. They may be potty trained, they might know basic commands, and possibly even a lot more than that. And also, you'll be doing a great thing for the breed by taking in a dog that needs a home. Some people say this might even make them bond tighter to you as well and be more appreciative of the home that you provide them. I mean, that's kind of anecdotal. We don't have data to back that up, but some owners certainly say that's the case. But remember that you'll also generally not have as much of an idea of that dog's past and the triggers and anxieties and other serious negative behavior issues that might surface later and can be somewhat unexpected. For these reasons, I think getting an adult Doberman is a great choice for many individuals or families without young kids at least, and owners with some experience training dogs definitely doesn't hurt, especially if you have an unexpected behavior you need to train out of them. For me personally, in my situation currently anyway, I have 3 young boys all under 6 years of age, so as much as it would pain me not to give a home to a Doberman in need, which is just such an amazing thing to do, I think at this very moment, I would have to go with a puppy Doberman if I were getting another Doberman right now. When my boys are older, I would definitely consider a rescue, but for now, just because they're so young, I think I'd stick with a puppy. Next up is to decide what genetic line of Doberman you want to look for. This is something you talk to your breeder about and ask them what genetic lines the dog comes from, or hopefully, if you're getting a rescue, maybe they'll have a little bit of information about this too. There are certainly benefits to both here as well, but I'd be willing to bet that one of them will fit your lifestyle a lot better. Generally, it's pretty simple. Working line Dobermans tend to mostly be Europeans, and they tend to show just tons of drive and determination, lots of confidence, and they can be a bit hard-headed. And yes, all Dobermans are, but working lines, they seem to have a lot more of this and very high energy as well. In general, working line Dobermans do well with highly active individuals who also have experience working with high drive, high energy working dogs. Now, show or pet line Dobermans, on the other hand, they tend to be a bit calmer, more relaxed, easier to train for first-time Doberman owners, and some say as a result of them being a bit calmer, they tend to be a bit more owner-focused also. They're still a Doberman though, right? Like, let's not forget that. So of course, they still have good amounts of energy, and working Dobermans do great at working functions like protection work, search and rescue assignments, and so on. But these pet or show Dobermans, they just tend to be pretty well-rounded dogs overall. Because of this, they're great dogs for families and those with limited or no Doberman ownership experience. So for me, I can definitely see the benefits to both, but I think a well-rounded pet would be something I'm looking for. I don't really need the tons of extra energy beyond what any Doberman already has anyway. So I think my choice here would be a pet or show Doberman genetic line if I were getting another Doberman today. Real quick, I do want to take a minute to tell you about Ollie, the sponsor of this video. Now, Ollie is a little different than a typical sponsor for us here at Doberman Planet because back in February of 2021, while I was doing research on the best fresh dog food options for Dobermans, which, by the way, ultimately led to a video on that topic. You can see that popping up in the corner of your screen if you're interested. And in that research, I went really in depth comparing the major fresh food options out there from the perspective of a Doberman owner. And it was at that time that I concluded that Ollie was the best choice for Doberman owners. Yes, I am an affiliate for them, which means that when you sign up for their service through our links, it does support our channel at no extra cost to you. But I became an affiliate because I reached out to them after doing my research. I decided on my own that they were the only fresh human-grade dog food service I really wanted to recommend to Doberman owners on my channel. And now, over 3 years later, my opinion honestly hasn't changed at all because their meals have no artificial flavors or preservatives, no byproducts or fillers. It's just real high-quality human-grade food with real protein, whole vegetables, and they're delivered straight to your door. It's truly remarkable to me, honestly, that you can get customized meal plans now specifically for Dobermans. So take a look in the description below this video for those little blue arrows. You'll see there a link to Ollie's website where you can customize your meals, and there'll be a coupon code there as well that you can use to get a big chunk off of your first box of food with them. So check them out, and let's get back to the next tip for choosing your perfect Doberman. Okay, the last decision is the color of your Doberman that you choose. And while there are quite a few exotic variations of Doberman colors popping up lately, your standard options are the black and rust, the red and rust, the blue and rust, fawn and rust, and the white Doberman. By the way, if you want to see a video I did with tons of cool footage of some of the most rare Doberman colors and all the options you have, take a look at that video popping up in the corner of your screen. You'll see some really crazy, awesome looking Dobermans. Yes, admittedly, a lot of your decision here has to do with your preference on looks, but there are some health differences here too. And to boil it down very simply, the black and rust dogs, they tend to have the least skin and coat issues as they age, and they're also the most recognizable as Dobermans. They have that traditional Doberman look. Now, these are the most common Dobermans and the ones that you tend to see in movies and television as well. The red and rust Dobermans are less common than the black, but they're still pretty easy to find. They may be slightly more prone to acne and hair loss issues as well. The blue and rust Dobermans, they're very cool looking. Some say they look gray, some people even say they look purple, but they're technically a diluted black color. These are definitely more rare than the other two colors I mentioned, and they are, though, prone to skin issues like ingrown hairs, staph infections, and acne, as well as just general dry coat issues. And they tend to be more prone to color dilution alopecia, which is called, or CDA, which is a genetic skin condition that causes hair thinning, hair loss, and dry and itchy skin. The fawn and rust Dobermans, which are also called Isabella Dobermans, they're just a diluted red color, and they're the rarest of the four standard colors anyway. The white isn't a standard Doberman color, in case you're wondering. But just like with the blue Dobermans, they can suffer from skin-related issues like ingrown hairs, staph infections, and acne, and they're also prone to color dilution alopecia as well. Last is the white Doberman, which is not a standard Doberman color, but it is still a true full-blooded Doberman. These are also rare, and they really aren't like a bleach white. They're usually more of a cream color. Many people actually say breeding these dogs is a little bit unethical because of their potential for many health concerns, including things like eyesight problems, sensitivity to light, for example, sunburns, cancerous skin tumors, and general skin issues. For me personally, I think I'd go with the standard black and rust colored Doberman. I'm kind of more of a classic Doberman guy anyway, plus I definitely like that they have the least skin and coat issues out of all the colors. So for me personally, here's what I'd be looking for if I was out looking for another Doberman today. I'd be looking for a black and rust colored male puppy that's an American Doberman and comes from pet or show genetic lines. For me and my lifestyle and my family, I think that would be the best fit right now. So, what type of Doberman did you end up with at the end of all this? Please write a comment down below this video because I'm gonna read them and I really would love to see the different types of Dobermans that everyone's matching up with as being the best for their specific situation. I hope this video has helped you to focus in on what type of Doberman that you're looking for in your Doberman search. And if you found this video at all helpful, please take a second to hit that like button down below. And also don't forget to subscribe because we have a ton more Doberman specific videos coming your way each and every week, right here at Doberman Planet. And please don't forget to take a second to visit our sponsor, Ollie. The link to them will be down in the description down below. It's a great way to spoil your dog and also really keep really good care of that beautiful coat of theirs as well. There will be a coupon code down below, save you a bunch of money. Keep being great Doberman breed ambassadors, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.